Okay, CQ, the old friends net. This is N4LQ, November 4, Lima, Quebec, and Shelby, North Carolina. Steve is the name. Calling CQ the old friends net. The old friends net is an amplitude modulation only net. Operates here on 1864 every night at 8 p.m. Anybody and everybody is welcome to check in as long as you're running AM. We make a list and we give you the order of check-ins, and then we start a round table. Those wishing to check in, call now.
W4GUZ.
W4JPL.
WB4NKL.
Okay, let's see, we got W4GUZ, W4JPL, and WB4NKL. Any more check-ins? Call now. All right, guys. I guess we'll go ahead and get started and see what we can conjure up today. Had a good luncheon with the old friends net gang in Spartanburg today. I don't know how many was there, but the room was pretty much full. I mean, we had a good crowd, and we sort of had a celebration of life of Lee, K4VWD, and we talked about some old times and looked at pictures, and some of the guys brought some stuff to give away and look at and so forth. And I got something here to fix, an ICO 720 that I'm looking at, and a Knight T150 from Mir, who was nice enough to give me one. So I'm going to be working on that before too long, as soon as I get done with Mr. ICO here. Running the AF-68 Elmac tonight, 350 watts of carrier, and the antenna is the infed half wave. Over to you, Brandon, W4GUZ, N4LQ.
Okay, Steve. Good evening, Steve, Cliff, and John. W4GUZ. It's been a pretty good day around here. I've worked outside most of the day. Excuse that noise. Someone else is overdosed in Bakersville. 22-year-old. I wonder what that could be. Probably fentanyl from Mexico. Good deal on the luncheon. Glad you had a good time, and I guess celebration of life for Lee. I'm sure y'all had a good time. I think Dave went down. I heard him this morning listening on the SDR. I couldn't make it to the radio though. Anyway, that's breaking news from Staggerweed. It made it up to about 50 today. On the Globe King 500 number 2, listening on Lee's S76. W4JPL, W4GUZ.
W4GUZ and the group W4JPL. All right, well, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing all right out there today. Steve, don't forget, I got a night transmitter for you over here. I got a receiver for Cliff, too. I had a real busy day. Started out my day going to the hospital, getting my monthly shot, and came home and worked on the house again. So that basically took up our whole day. So didn't even get my nap today. That's not a good thing. I need my nap. We did go over to Texas Roadhouse and get dinner over there, so that was a good thing. And my son's coming down from New Jersey with his son, so we're going to have some good family time this weekend coming up. Over to you, Cliff. WB4NKL in the group, W4JPL.
Yeah, W4JPL, it's WB4NKL. Okay, John. I can't get into that nap thing. I've never taken naps, and I guess I ought to learn. I don't know. It just seems like once I'm awake, I don't go back to sleep till it's time to go to bed. Good deal on the night and the ICO, Steve. I'm curious what you're going to find on that ICO. I guess that's Gary's. Kind of a weird situation. It'll be interesting to see what that is. I went to the retiree breakfast once a month deal over at Unicoi, and then I had to leave from there quickly and go to Greenville to a dentist appointment at 11. So I got that over with. 6 months checkup, and they said I was good to go for another 6,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. Not too much else going on. I've been working out here. I've been working on a Ranger for Dave, and tried to check into the mullet net. They're having their month of February, their QRP deal. So I fired up the tram converted CB with 4 watts, and some of them heard me. I think W4TP down in Alabama, he's probably the one that's keeping the record of the QRP. He heard me, but net control couldn't quite get through to him. But heard quite a few of the guys running below 5 watts and was hearing them quite well here. So back to you, Steve. N4LQ, WB4NKL.
WD.
WD40. How you there? N4 WD40. Oh gosh. How you doing, Bruce? Go ahead and make a transmission, then turn it back to me.
Okay, Steve in the group, November 4, Whiskey Delta. Fairly nice day today. 43 right now. I think got up to almost 60. Quite pleasant. Got out the SB 200, fired it up. Don't have any grid turn on it. I gotta check the relay and see if it's working like it's supposed to and rounding out the grid. Doesn't really show any bias, idle bias, current either, so I don't know. Might give it a whirl, see what's going on with this. Maybe we'll get it going. It ain't been fired up in a few years, so lucky it even fired up high. So, and well, I didn't hear Amir. I had a question for him to be checking. N4L2 or N4W.
Okay, N4WD, real fine. Mir, WF2U, go ahead and give us one and turn it back to me.
Sure. N4LQ and the net, this is WF2U. Good evening, everybody. I'm a little late, but so far I heard you, Steve, and Bruce, you both sound pretty good. Steve, you're a lot stronger than Bruce, but anyway, so I'm ready to hear Bruce's question about, I guess back to you, Steve, and then you dispose of the ether use as you see proper. N4LQ, WF2U.
Okay, we're always proper here. WF2U, N4LQ. Well, I'm going to sit here on the edge of my chair waiting on that question, but let's see. Brandon, okay, on the ODs. I wonder how many of those on the average you see every week. That I know it's bad. I hear a lot about fentanyl and so forth. I just can't believe that all the information that's out there, that people are still dumb enough to take that stuff. But it is just, it's always been powerful, but I understand now this stuff that's coming over is super, super powerful. And it's so powerful that you just get some on your hands. Sometimes the law enforcement people get into it accidentally, and it sends them into a tizzy. And they got to have treatment right away. John, fine on the shot. Glad that's over. And I'm going to have to come up here and get that. I don't know any other way to pick that up. And I guess it's worth the trip, no doubt. So I'll study the map and try to figure out, tell me what the best day for you is and the time of day. I'm pretty flexible, so being retarded as I am, I can do that kind of stuff about any time. I just probably schedule it for after lunch, and that way the XYL can go to lunch, and then I can leave here about 1 o'clock sometime. And to find on the QRP mullets, I don't know about that. That whole thing just sounds kind of, I don't know. It just sounds like it's asking for trouble. Like, let's try an adjustment here on our power output so nobody can hear each other, and let's see if we can not hear each other. Maybe it'd be better if you just change power levels during a transmission and say, here I am QRP, and now here I am so you can hear me. Anyway, I guess it's something fun to do. And does that last for like a month? Is that the way that works? And Bruce, okay, on the SB200, I think you said you're working on there. And Mir, I got your night here, and I got to dig up a couple of 6146s because it didn't have any in it, so I'll have to, I've got some here. I'll put those in, and it'll be good to go. And I've got it looks pretty original as far as the capacitors and all that goes. So there's quite a bit of things to do, and it obviously was a kit, but the solder joints don't look too bad. So it'll be something fun to try. Anyway, nice front panel on it, that's for sure, and the case will be real easy to paint. And guess what? Amazon just came 10 minutes ago and dropped off this adapter for the VCR to the USB in the computer, so I can copy VHS tapes into the software. So this thing comes up with a menu, it looks like, when you plug it in. Pretty sophisticated for $12. Amazing. 1-day shipping. It actually worked. So over to, let's see if anybody else wants to check in. N4LQ, listening? Okay, go ahead, Brandon. W4G is the N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, W4LQ, W4G, UZ. Yeah, that 1-day shipping. I tried when I was converting, which I don't know if it was the best thing to do or not, but at least I've got a backup. But I converted my entire childhood of VHS over to CD, and then also on a hard drive that's in the supposedly fireproof safe. But I tried one of those D8 converters, computer version, I guess that's what you've got, and I never could get it to work exactly right, so I got on eBay and bought one of the old school dubbing VCRs, and that worked out well, and ended up, I was trying trying to think, did I sell it or I think I've still got it, because I didn't pay that much for it. I think I've got it. I think it's over on the other side here. But, man, it takes some time to get everything right without blank spaces on the CD, but it was worth it for, hopefully my nephew will carry on what little bit of legacy I might have. Stepson sure doesn't, unless he has a change of heart, doesn't care anything about the past, only about the future. So, and they had a scare. He was, this is his senior year at UNC Charlotte, and they had a active shooter. It turned out to be bogus, thank goodness, but he was actually walking through the parking lot when he got the text, and he turned around, got in his car, and went back home. So, but it turned out to be nothing. Bruce, good deal on the Heath kit. I'm sure you'll get that figured out. You didn't answer me last night. I'm sure you were the radio man at the fire department. I guess that started about when I was 18. I probably installed every radio from then up until, probably 2010. I decided it wasn't worth all my time to volunteer. Let somebody get paid for it. And yeah, Steve, the fentanyl, apparently it's dirt cheap. Cheaper than meth, but apparently meth and fentanyl go well together. But the big thing, and I may have touched on this already, but you can go on Temu, or which I have nothing to do with, but that and a few other overseas sites, and buy pill presses. You can get them in narcotic pill form, or Benadryl, or I'm sure Tylenol is probably a popular choice, but buy you a Chinese pill press and figure out what you're going to use as a binder, and mix a little fentanyl in with it and press it into a Benadryl pill and take it to the high school and give it out if somebody's got diarrhea. It scares me to death. And I don't know what the average is. I'd say at least one a week here. That may be pushing it. My neighboring county, which is the gateway to drugs, McDowell County, that borders I-40, Marion, all that area. That's where most of the dope comes from, but they have, and I'm not exaggerating, 6, 7, 8 a day, not including cardiac arrest, which could have came from overdosing, but I tell you, it's something else. Sounds like you had a good time today, Cliff, on your at your breakfast, and then good deal at the dentist. My little accident with the wood splitter just cost me $384, but I've got teeth, and it's amazing that they could match it as well as they did. I can't tell it. So I'm happy with that. And hello, Mir. Not as strong as last night, but maybe that'll change here soon. I've got a Terry report. I'll wait till next pass to give that out. And Cliff, I listened. I could hear you just fine, QRP. I was still outside doing the chores and all, but heard you just fine. I could hear quite a few of them. But I didn't have a chance to get in here and fire the rig up. W4JPL, W4GUZ.
All right, W4GUZ in the group, W4JPL. Fine business. Steve, if you're going to go to Sevierville, I'm going to try to go to that. So, I could save you a trip. While you guys are talking, I just looking on eBay, and there's a gentleman there, or person, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl or whatever, but they have a Johnson Ranger 2. It's half of a Johnson Ranger 2. No VFO, beat up, nasty looking. Front panel's cleanable, but they would like $300 for that and $75 to ship it. So that comes under, yeah, good luck with that one. The other one that is surprising but not so surprising, I always keep my eye out for a certain Beatle album that's called the Butcher album. And somebody's got an original one, and they only want $20,000 for it. They got 92 watchers, so I guess it'll sell. I've got a Butcher album, but not one like that. So that's like, people got more money than brains, I'll tell you. As much as I like to collect that kind of stuff, I'm never going to spend that kind of money on that stuff. Hello to Bruce, hello to Mir, and everybody else that's in there again. WB4NKL in the group, W4JPL.
Anybody hear me?
We got you.
You got some kind of noise in, I don't know what, hum or something going on. W4JPL, WB4NKL. Billy, I guess you'll come after Mir? No, you'll come after Bruce. Bruce is last on the list. Good deal. Well, looking forward to the Terry report, and I don't have much else going. Of course, I'll be at Sevierville, John. You can bring my stuff over there, and maybe we can talk Steve into that. Should be a pretty good little ham fest. I guess I'm not sure which weekend. It's in March, I think. Still about a month off, I guess. And my trip's coming up pretty fast. I've got to start packing some stuff up. We're leaving out Tuesday morning for Orlando, and haven't done anything about. I've got a few things laid out here in the shop to take, but not too much yet. The guys coming up from Georgia, the I can't remember his call right off. AA4AI. He's coming up Saturday now, so coming up to pick up the little Johnson Navigator. And that was one of the things I was going to take to Orlando, so I don't have to mess with it now. I'll send it on around. Go ahead. Let's see, I was turning it to back to Steve, but now I guess I'll turn it to Bruce, N4WD, WB4NKL.
Yeah, let me have it here a second. I'll give you the order of things. LQ, GUZ, JPL, NKL, WD, F2U, and KO4SSY. That's the list. Go ahead, Bruce.
Okay, Steve, N4WD. Thanks for the correction there. I think that's the way I had it down, but I checked it and did it again. N4WD, if I didn't do it already. Chris, have a safe trip and getting loading stuff up. I don't know how you're going down there, so I'm sure you're going to bypass me. But we'll probably see you in Dalton then. And here, if you can hear me, I'm looking for a signal meter for a Collins 392. The level meter there in the center. I'm looking for one of those. Mine semi-works, but it's got little pieces of parts laying in the bottom of it, and you have to tap it to get it unstuck. I think they're stop weights or something. I'll look at another meter. I might be able to repair it. But if you know of one, I'm looking for one there. So band's kind of up and down, but good copies on everybody, except for Mir. And SSY, you're way down from what normally are. Everybody else is a good copy. So let me see if Mir's got me. WF2U, N4WD.
Roger, N4WD and the net. This is WF2U. Yeah, Bruce, you are loud and clear. No problems whatsoever. And the R392 here in the GRC19 setup is useless as an S-meter because it measures dB over noise level. But you're a good 25 dB over noise level, so you're okay. A little QSB. Well, for example, I was lucky because I got all my three R392s. I have one spare that has a little bit of an issue. I got all of them with the original meters, but I know that people sometimes found them without meters. I wonder whether you tried Fair Radio. Fair Radio used to have them, but they might still be able to dig one out for you. And I would put, I'm not sure whether you're on Facebook, because there is a military radio group, actually a couple of them. You could search there, and then also there is the mailing list of the title of that mailing list is Army Radios, and you could also put a request for one if somebody has it. But I don't have any spare ones, so that's my answer. And Steve, regarding to the T150, from the time I took it home from Dayton about 15 years ago, just the way it is, didn't do anything with it. I just put it in the garage on the shelf with some other shelf flowers, waiting for attention, and that was it. And then I moved it to another area in the garage, and I had a couple of cardboard boxes with all kinds of accessories and cables and whatnot on it. So I was looking for something else the other day, and all of a sudden I see a familiar face there. Anyway, so that's the story. And John, Cliff, and Franz there, W4GUZ. Also, everybody sounds loud and clear. So it goes to, I guess it goes back to you, Steve. N4LQ, this is WF2U.
Okay, goes to Billy, KO4SSY, take it away. Are we playing Name That Tune? That's called When the Hummingbirds Come Back to Capistrano. Well, I'm sorry, but you got carrier and hum, but no talkie.
Got carried away.
He's trying. I guess you're going to have to kick it, Bill. heard you when you first called in, but it's kind of messed up. Okay, well, I guess we'll wait another round and see what happens. But you'll come after Amir here. Anybody else want to check in while we wait and start another round? All right, this is N4LQ. I forgot to answer the question from Cliff on this 720. Interesting, I don't know if you still have that schematic, but let's see, it is C7. Yeah, no, not C7. I'm trying to read it here, C11. C11, somebody had 100 picofarad in there instead of 1,000 picofarad. Missed it by about 1,000. This should be a 001. Well, that's in series with the each of the coils, and apparently it was causing some kind of high current, RF currents through the coils on the lower bands, some kind of oddball resonance or something. It doesn't get near as hot now, so I checked it with my digital thermometer, and it's okay now. And there's a drift, a downward drift in grid current as you sit and wait. You can kind of see it drop from 3 down to 2 mils, and that's just a matter of the driver pot getting real hot, and I think that's because it's too small. It looks like somebody put a half watt in there in place. It's supposed to be a 4 watt, which is a pretty good sized pot, or at least it was back in the day when this thing was built. So I'm going to recommend he change that, but I think that's about all that's wrong with it. And thanks for the information there on McDowell County. Boy, that's a bad place. Remind me not to live there. What's the big town there? What's the county seat, I wonder? And Brandon, I didn't know you had a stepson, so I learn something every day. He's a high school boy. And I bet that's a handful, isn't it? And let's see, Beatles albums. Boy, oh boy, I don't even have a turntable here. I thought a few times about buying one, and I don't have any vinyl here either, so I'd probably get started on that and couldn't quit. I don't know. And Sevierville Hamfest, yeah, I just looked that up. That's March the 16th, so that'd be cool. I'd like to go there and meet up with you. So that sounds like a good plan. It just seems so far away, but in actuality, it really isn't. Go ahead, Brandon. W4GUZ, N4LQ.
N4LQ, W4GUZ. No, it's really not that far away. My wife had Family Feud on, and one of the questions was in the final was on a scale of 1 to 10, how fast is your life passed? Both of them were guys. One was, I guess, guessing 50, and the other one's probably 70. One said 8, and one said 6. And it was very few points. The number one answer was 10. So that's where I'm at, about 9.5, I guess. Time does fly, and it'll be here before we know it, but I plan on, hopefully, Lord willing, be there too. And Steve, McDowell County, the county seat's Marion. There's, well, I guess the only other town is Old Fort, down next to Buncombe County, but well, I'm going to leave that one alone. But that's where most of the the dope comes up. We've got 4 entrances into the county from that county. Apologize.
Fire rescue. Parkway Fire Rescue, stand by.
They're well, we got 3 MS trucks and they're all out. Now they're calling for volunteer advanced ALS, advanced life support, to man the stations, but they're flying this guy. And the only thing in the comments was he took a handful of sleeping medication. So if he makes it, I'm sure he'll get a tube down his throat. Narcan doesn't work for that. Let me turn this down. Anyway, it's bad times. No, the stepson is a senior in college. Lord, let's don't go back 4 years. And he's on track to graduate, so. And he's got his sights set on New York City real estate. Even though he's working, he works 2, sometimes 3 days a week, waiting tables at a uptown restaurant. He makes anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, and this is a weekend. It depends. Most of the time he only works 2 days, but that's in tips. And we're giving him that much a month to go to school, so I will we may have a glass of champagne after we leave his graduation, because he's getting cut off. Good boy. His head ain't screwed on completely straight. Of course, I don't know any child in that age that is, but anyway. Cliff, good deal on Orlando, and I'm sure you'll have fun at Ponce Inlet. I miss that place. It's been, gosh, 25 years since I've been down there, probably. I think the last, well, it's been longer than that. Well, no, about right. But last picture I remember taking, I think it was a 1992 or 93 pace car for the Daytona 500. I had it parked in front of the lighthouse there. I've got a picture of me sitting on the hood. I don't think the NASCAR was too happy about that, but luckily Mom was quick with the 110 millimeter camera. Good times. Amir, you come up, way up. I looked at the old S-76 there, and you were 30 dB over 9 that last go around. So I'm not sure if you plugged something up or if conditions changed that much. And Billy, I didn't hear any audio at all that go around. I could hear something before. I wasn't listening that close, but I'm not sure what you're on. But anyway, maybe it'll be better this go around. Terry report. The wife had it on her heart. We listened on the SDR upstairs while we were eating. I didn't venture down in the basement, but we heard this morning's conversation and heard DB on the radio. Steve, you're in for a treat if DB continues to hang around. He's a #1 character. I got to know him very well. He's bought a couple goats from us. Apparently sterile goats. Hope he doesn't hold that against us, but he's a good guy. After that, Amy just had on her heart to go see him, and I wanted to go, but I had so much to do. I told her just to go by herself, and I think she loafered a little bit. I know she did. She come back with a pair of shoes from somewhere. But Terry was, she stopped at, I think, the Arbor House or somewhere there in Johnson City and got him some whitefish and hush puppies and a baked potato. And he ate about a third of the baked potato, full piece of the fish, and picked up another one, said he just couldn't do it. And she stayed about an hour and a half, something like that. But as she was sitting there, Terry hadn't seen the doc or heard anything all day, and he got some news. They rolled in, gave the news to him along with a stretcher to put him on. Maybe it was could have been a wheelchair. But he's being moved from Johnson City Medical back to Kingsport. Cliff, maybe you know where this is at. Terry told Amy that you could throw a rock from Holston Medical and hit it, but Encompass Rehab and his care, the one that will be in charge of his well-being at rehab, actually come in the room too, and he fussing and moaning about the food at the hospital. And they promised him that he would have his personal chef, and he could eat whatever he wanted and as much as he wanted. And he was very coherent, not lethargic like he was the last time. It was pitiful the last time. I didn't want to say much, but I didn't figure I'd ever see Terry again after last week's visit. But he's apparently perked way up. He cried on Amy and said he misses us guys. And believe it or not, things are looking up, so prayers do work. So that's the Terry report as of approximately 4 o'clock this afternoon. He was being, as Amy left, they were actually in the same elevator, but he was being shipped back to Kingsport for at least a 2-week stay, from what I gather, and then they're going to reevaluate things. But she said he was still very congested, coughing up a lot of crap, but much better spirit than last Friday, a week tomorrow. W4JPL, W4GUZ.
W4GUZ and the group W4JPL. Well, praise Jesus on that. Prayer works. Prayer works a whole bunch. Praise Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, Terry's going to be back annoying us in no time at all. Steve, I got a better one than Sevierville for you. Charlotte Hamfest is March the 9th. I'll probably go to that too. That's probably a whole bunch closer to you, I'm sure. So that's something to look at. Chadwick is apparently listening because he sent me a link to the Sevierville Hamfest. So everybody say hello to Chad. Chad, stop playing around. Get your antenna up, son. You're talking about meters for, I don't know if the 392 uses the same meters as the 390, but that guy that I got all those 390s from and 398s from that I took to Shelby last year, he has a couple boxes of meters, but he was not going to part with them under any circumstances whatsoever, whoever, whyever, and whatever. I'm going to make this my final transmission of the day, guys. I've had a very long day, and I'm very long tired. I'll be listening for a little while, though. 73, God bless, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning. WB4NKL in the group, W4JPL.
Yeah, W4JPL. It's WB4NKL. Okay, John. We'll look for you there in the morning. And let's see, Brandon, I missed DB. this morning. I got out pretty quick. I had to leave for that breakfast. So I wonder if he got by to see Terry. He was talking about going, I guess that was Saturday. He'd called me and was wanting Terry's room number. And let's see, good news. That's a big improvement from when I seen him last. I was like you. I didn't know if I'd see him again. So he's come quite a ways. I'm not sure where that rehab place is, but if it's, I know the area, you know, there where the hospital's at, we can find it, I'm sure. And maybe he'll get his telephone back. Maybe his ex-wife will take that back to him. And there was something to do with she couldn't find the charger or something. Maybe that should be easily replaced. So when he gets back over there, I'm sure that Leroy will be there in Kingsport and keep closer track on him too. I know those 390 meters and the 392, they look the same. They both 0 to 100 dB, and they're the same physical size, but I don't know if they're the same movement or not. I have to cross-reference it in the books and see what the manual says. But if that's the case, Bruce, I guess you got more of a chance of finding it. It's like John said, that guy that was selling the 390s cheap had a bunch of them, but didn't want to part with them. I don't quite understand why he's holding on to them. He was selling 390s without meters for $75 and 390s with meters for $150. But he didn't want to sell just the meters. I think Brandon was looking for some meters also. And one of the 390s I bought without meters works great, so I wouldn't care to find meters for it. That's the only thing it's really wrong with it. But I'll keep an eye out down in Orlando to see if anybody might happen to have some down there. Some company made there was so many had been robbed out. Some company was making a replacement at one time. Some other company. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So on to you, Bruce, N4WD, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff, N4WD. Now, the meter works, and I think what it is, it's down in the bottom of the meter, floating around was what looked like two brass staples, real small, and the little white plastic pieces like they were the bumpers. The meter works, but it goes over to the side, nothing to stop it. So I think it's one of the arm meter, one of the meter pointers bumpers, or two of them laying down in the bottom of it. If I can figure out how they go reattach, I might be able to get it going. But it works, but you got to tap it to get it to move. And once you get it to move, it does pretty good. So, but appreciate you looking. If you come across something, let me know. But yeah, the band is not improving. Last night, after about 9:30, it got real quiet and good. But tonight, it's just holding in there, sound like you're waving backwards and forwards. But everybody's still copiable, and that's where it's at, Mir. It's what I'm trying to do is get that, get it so it don't stick, so to speak. And that's the problem with it. And I'll look at some other I'll look at the 390. I got one here, and I'll look at that meter and see if it's assembled the same, and maybe I can find out where the little brass staples and the little white bumpers go to. So we'll listen around if there's any more going on, and we'll be here. So I think it goes to Mir. WF2U, N4WD.
Yeah, Roger, N4WD and the net. This is WF2U. Yeah, Bruce, okay. I was just looking at my meters here. I have two I actually have two sets. One is in the mount, mounted in the vehicular mount, and I just put another set just on top of that, so I have a spare just in case. So just not cabled up because I only have one set of cables. But both meters, both receivers, actually different manufacturing series. One is made by contracted by Collins out to Stuart Warner, a 1952 contract, and the other one is made by Federal, and the contract is 1960. They have the same meter, because I've seen something a little bit different also. And I'm looking at the stops. Yeah, you definitely have the meter stops that are detached. They look like a little piece of, like a wire that has a little plastic sleeve on it. And I bet you have holes, either holes on the meter face that it gets stuck in, or it's maybe epoxied in, I don't know. But yeah, that explains why the meter is stuck, because it's at the end of its motion, and then when it bangs into either end, it kind of gets wedged in. So you have to shake it up. I believe you can open these meters when you take them out. The outside cover can be moved, and then you get down to the rest of it. I'm pretty sure you can separate it. I have several meters of that kind, but different scales and different ratings of the meter movement. So so the structure is such that you can, I think you can. There are some seals also, but I think this is the kind that you take it out of the front panel with those 4 screws, and I think the outside is a separate cover, and you can somehow glue those little pieces back. And you should be able to see where they came from, exactly the spots where they were in. But I'm not sure whether it's a hole or it's just or it was just glued in. I would tend to believe more that since it's a mobile radio and has to have pass a G test before acceptance into a military stock, like a shaker table, that it's glued, it's probably not as secure, so I assume that it must have a hole on each side of the movement to put these stops in. Anyway, that's the story, and Brian, you were strong also, and it's still the same T195 part of the GRC-19 setup. It's a 100-watt carrier, fully plate and screen modulated, and the microphone is the original model or type of the carbon microphone that the system goes with. What else did I want to... Oh, Steve, I wanted to ask you whether you have the manual or you downloaded it. I know I have it in a PDF file that I downloaded from Bama, and I guess you can do the same if you don't have it already in print. So that's the story from this end. So Cliff, you sound good also. Looks like conditions are pretty good tonight. So let's see Billy's here. KO4SSY, this is WFW.
I'll see, Billy, are you back on the air? KO4SSY N4LQ. Yeah, you probably took the rig out to the trash can. Oh well, that's too bad. Close but no cigar. This is N4LQ. Anybody else want to check in tonight?
K4QE.
Well, better Nate than Lever. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing all right, Steve. I tuned in just as John was signing off, so I heard Cliff and Bruce in my ear, and almost heard Billy, I guess, but I guess he flew to coop. So good evening to everyone. I don't know who else is in here, so I'll pass it back to you, Steve, K4QE.
Oh, we got a big list, and I would kind of guess this may be the last round. Nobody's checked out yet, but I'm okay. We can keep going, and let's see. Brandon, I had heard DB on long time ago. I don't know when the last time was that I heard him, and I'm not sure if he ever checked into the Old Friends net or just that Over the Hill net or what, but I had heard that before, and yeah, he can really chew the rag, as they say, and he's a good person to sell goats to, I guess. I don't have any goats for sale, and yeah, the Charlotte Hamfest, March 9th. That will be here in no time at all. So yeah, it's a long way, though. I'll tell you, it's probably somewhere around between 60 and 70 miles from me. It's totally on the other side, on the wrong side of Charlotte. Wish they'd move that to this side of Charlotte. It'd be a lot better. It's just too far away. But I should be able to go, hopefully, and we can meet up down there. I am ready for some Hamfest. Let's see. And the manual, T150, no, I don't have a manual, but I did look at it on Bama, so I'm in good shape there. And I don't know, I got an awful lot of manuals. I tend to hang on to them, so I may actually have one down there, although I think the only T150 I ever owned was right after I passed my general test. A big shot at the power company loaned me his that he had built, and I hooked it up, and it looked like new. I guess it was. And I got on 75 meters AM or something, but anyway, I ended up on 40. I guess I had it on the wrong dip or whatever, and put out a real nice harmonic up there, and I got a pink ticket from the FCC, and that was the one and only ticket that I ever got. The only thing I ever got like that was a OO report from some OO at, one of those inspectors for the ARRL said I had key clicks with a Viking 2. Well, duh. Those are key click machines, and I guess he didn't like that. I don't think key clicks are illegal, but they're just something that people pick at. Anyway, go ahead. Brandon, W4GUZ, N4LQ.
N4LQ, W4GUZ. And hello, Tony. A little late tonight, but that's okay. Good to hear you. Hope everything's going okay down your way. And yeah, Steve, the only no, I hadn't received any pink tickets from the FCC, but I sure have not a big stack, but a little stack from the town cops. and maybe the Sheriff's Department. None from the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Well, I'll tell this story. It wasn't long after the the stretch of interstate opened. You didn't have to take the old road from Unicoi into Johnson City. I don't know what year that was, but anyway, I turned 16. And yes, I mostly drove Volkswagens all my life, but I took a 87 or 8 Mitsubishi Eclipse. Me and the girlfriend, me newly licensed, and I got that puppy up on that new road up to 120. And I took the Unicoi exit, headed up Rock Creek. Blue lights behind me. Sweating bullets, and ended up getting a ticket for 39 and a 20. So I gladly took it, but we were headed to my grandma's anyway, and wouldn't you know it, her and the clerk at the courthouse was very good friends. So I had to go over and personally apologize for speeding on Rock Creek, and I got out of that one. So, but town cops gave me a hard time growing up. And the bad part was Mom and Dad knew about it long before I even got pulled over. So it was always stupid stuff. In a Volkswagen, so it couldn't have been too bad. But I did like to spin when there was an opportunity, especially when there were salt and gravel on the road after a snow in an intersection. It was fun to do a 180 and then recover and then continue in the same direction, because a Volkswagen won't do a 360. Well, it will, but anyway, 73 John. And I guess I'll make this my last one. Bruce, I'm sure you can fix that meter. I spent several hours yesterday taking apart a early 1900s brass pressure gauge, and got it calibrated. I had 3 meters in line with it, and I kind of put it in the middle of the other 3 because none of them read the same thing. But anyway, it's going on a steam boiler that I've got out here, so got it all brass polished, sanded, and water sanded, and polished, and got the glass put back in it. So, but it was a lot bigger, or is a lot bigger than the 390 meter, and I'm still looking for one, Cliff. I've got one in this 390 non-A, but it's white, and a Geiger counter doesn't go off when you get near it, so I guess that's why it's white. And I still can't figure out why that guy's hoarding all the meters. That just doesn't make sense unless he knows something we don't. Mir 73, and who else is in here? I think I covered all the bases. Big day tomorrow. I'll get the wife's helping me with the help of a tractor, but I've got down to the bottom of the wood pile, and I've got to get the logs up off the ground. Hopefully my back will hold out, but hopefully get all the rest of that cut up, and maybe half of it, if we're lucky, busted and put in the woodshed. We're running a little low. We probably got 3, maybe a month left out there, but that makes me nervous when I can see daylight on the other side of the woodshed. I think that's it. Cliff, go ahead, and hopefully Terry will get his phone back soon. I miss the old rascal. And yeah, DB was his old self, telling big tales about how hard he works, and now that was getting daylight earlier, he'd have time. He said he'd have time from this day forward until the time changed in fall, so we'll see how accurate that falls. But he was sounding good this morning. WB4NKL, 73 all, W4GUZ.
Yeah, W4GUZ, WB4NKL. Okay, Brandon. Yeah, they were pretty tough on speeders on Rock Creek. I know a guy that lived on Rock Creek. He picked up a couple tickets coming to work, coming down through there. They watched that pretty close, but he's lucky he didn't see you coming down Temple Hill over there at 120. I used to, back at that age, I picked up a few tickets too, but we had a constable down here in my end of the county, and he was a Barney Fife wannabe. He had a 63 Ford and a low band Motrac radio in the back of it, and he liked to sit back and give out tickets here to speeders in Limestone. I remember he stopped me one time, and my uncle fixed that one for me. He jumped all over him and put him in his place, I think. But those were the days. Had a lot of fun back at that age. Felt good. Let's see. I don't have much to add. I'll say 73s too, and hello to Tony. Sounding good, Tony, and sorry you're late to the game. Maybe some of these guys will hang in here with you for a while. But 73s, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow. Go ahead, Bruce, N4 WD, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff, N4 WD. Well, it has been another enjoyable afternoon, night, start of the night. Listening to and learning as I do. I learn more listening on this net. So much stuff going on, people rebuilding and all. Then I went and looked at that 390 and took some pictures of the meter through the glass. I didn't have tools with me to take it apart. But those are the stops for that needle, and I see where they're at in the one on the 390. So hopefully I can get these back on there and get the meter so it doesn't hang up going to the left, and you have to pick it to get it going again. Everyone have a good afternoon, or the rest of the afternoon, a good night, a good start to tomorrow. Maybe a good one. Oh, and the Mullis net, I can't remember if they were just doing that on one night for Thursday, or they were doing it for the whole month. I remember them talking about it, but that was about it. Everyone have a good one. Mirror coming to you. 73s, WF2U, N4WD.
Yeah, N4WD and the net. This is WF2U. Yeah, very good, Bruce. And there is another way of doing it. See where the pivot of the needle is and the end of the arc of the scale, and just draw a straight line. That's where the stops are. That's how far the needles have to go. The needle has to go. So you can do it without, even if you don't find a trace where those stops were. Anyway, so you sounded good, and I heard your report about Terry. Of course, I don't know him, but through you, I'm following a fellow human being, and looks like he's doing better, according to the description. And what else? I basically, Steve, you cannot download, because I have my copy of the P150 that I downloaded from BOMUP, and I keep all the downloaded manuals on on my server, and I have a big folder just for radio manuals, and divided into files of each manufacturer. So, well, it's night time to go, so I have to let the dogs out. So 73, everybody, have a good night. I'll be here most likely tomorrow night, unless something, some urgent honeydew or something else comes up. So take care all, and Tony, good evening, and too bad that I'm running. It's not you that is chasing everybody away. So I'm just saying good night to you too, and this is, so I guess it goes to Tony. So K4QE and the group, this is WFCU 73 all, and shutting down.
Okay, Mayor, thank you very much, and good to hear everybody tonight. I'm glad I was able to check in at the tail end and hear everybody, and everybody's sounding fine here tonight. I'm sorry I missed Billy, though, but conditions are nice and quiet tonight, and the band is not crowded, so always good. Anyway, I'll say goodnight as well. I know it's getting kind of late. It's about 10 after 9 here, so I'll say 73 as well, and thanks, as always, Steve, for running the net. N4LQ in the group from K4QE. Good night.
Okay. All right, Tony. Let's see if Bill happened to be fixed yet. KO4SSY. You back with us? I guess not. Oh, well. All right, guys. It's been a good net. Thanks a lot for checking in. The signals were all pretty good tonight. A little bit of QSB here and there, a little bit of noise, but everybody was copyable 100%, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So have a good evening. God bless, and take it easy. And this is Thursday night, so I guess we'll see whoever in the morning at 7:30 or so, and then the Old Friends Net again on Sunday. So see you later, 73s. N4LQ closing the Old Friends Net.
Yeah, Mayor, thanks for the information, and I'll check that when I take that meter off of it later, and see if I can find out where those little pieces go right there by those the screws that hold the face, the meter itself, the backing, the one with the numbers on it. So thanks. WFTU N4WD 73.
Pleasure, Bruce. 73 all. This is WFTU out.